Imagine, if you will, a time long ago, in a vast desert under a blanket of brilliant stars. This was Arabia, a land of sweeping sand dunes and rugged mountains. The year was around 570. Life was hard, you know. Water was more precious than gold. People lived in tribes, and loyalty to one's family and clan was everything. They were proud, strong people, known for their beautiful poetry and their incredible ability to survive in the harsh landscape. They traveled in long caravans, their camels moving like ships across a sea of sand, connecting distant lands and trading goods like spices, silks, frankincense. In the heart of this land was a bustling city called Mecca. It was a special place not just for trade but for worship. In its center stood a simple cube-shaped building called the Kaaba. People from all over Arabia would travel to Mecca to visit it. In the city of Mecca, in the year of the elephant, a baby boy named Muhammad was born. His birth was not marked by grand palaces or royal fanfare. It was a humble beginning. His father Abdullah had passed away before he was even born. His mother Amina was left to raise him alone. According to the custom of noble families in Mecca, the infant Muhammad was sent to live in the desert with a Bedouin wet nurse named Halima. This was believed to be a healthier environment for a child, where he could learn the pure Arabic language and grow strong in the clean desert air. Life in the desert was simple and grounding. Muhammad spent his early years as a shepherd, tending to flocks of sheep, tending to goats under the wide open sky. This quiet, solitary work gave him a lot of time to think. He watched the stars at night and the clouds during the day. He learned patience, responsibility, and gentleness from caring for the animals. As Muhammad grew into a young man, he continued to live and work with his uncle Abu Talib. To help support the family, he began to accompany his uncle on long trading journeys. In a bustling marketplace, he negotiated calmly with other traders. These caravan trips took him far from Mecca, to places like Syria, and beyond across long desert routes. He saw new lands. He met different people. He learned about their cultures and beliefs. He encountered Jewish communities. He encountered Christian communities. He listened to their stories about one God, stories about Abraham, stories about Moses, stories about Jesus. His work as a merchant only strengthened his reputation for honesty. In the world of trade, where deception was common, Muhammad was known for his fairness. He never cheated his customers or misrepresented his goods. His integrity was his most valuable asset. This reputation reached the ears of a wealthy, respected businesswoman in Mecca, Khadijah. As Muhammad approached the age of 40, he became more and more contemplative. He grew troubled by the state of his society in Mecca. He saw the greed. He saw the injustice. He saw the worship of idols. He saw the neglect of the poor. He felt a deep spiritual yearning for something more. He longed for a connection to the one true creator beyond the stone idols of the Kaaba. Seeking solitude and peace, he retreated to a small cave on Jabal al-Nur, the mountain of light. The cave, Hira, became his sanctuary for prayer and deep meditation. He spent days and nights in the cave, reflecting on life and the universe. During one retreat in Ramadan, something extraordinary happened. In the darkness of the cave, he was suddenly visited by a powerful presence. He later identified the being as the angel Gabriel. The angel's presence overwhelmed him. Muhammad was filled with awe and fear.
Iqra, read or recite.
I cannot read.
The angel embraced him tightly, so tightly he felt he could not breathe, then released him. The angel embraced him a second time more powerfully, then released him and repeated the command. After the third refusal, the angel embraced him one last time, then recited the first verses of what would become the Quran.
Read! In the name of your Lord who created man from a clinging substance. Read! And your Lord is the most generous, who taught by the pen, taught man that which he did not know.
Shaken and terrified, Muhammad hurried down the mountain, heart trembling. He did not know what to make of it. Was he going mad? Was he possessed?
Cover me! Cover me!
She wrapped him in a cloak and held him until his fear subsided. He told her what had happened in the cave. Khadijah listened with faith and reassurance.
Never, by God, God will never disgrace you.
You keep good relations with your kin, you help the poor, you serve your guests generously, you bear the calamities of the people. After receiving the first revelation, Muhammad waited. Silence followed. He felt anxiety and doubt. Then the messages returned. He understood his mission. He was to be a prophet, a messenger of God, Abraham, Moses, Jesus. There is only one God, Allah. All people are equal in his eyes. Call people away from idols. Justice, compassion, humility. He began sharing secretly with family and friends. Khadija, first to accept Islam, Ali, Zayd, Abu Bakr, the respected merchant. A small, diverse community formed, noble and wealthy, the poor, the enslaved, the marginalized. He stood on Safa Hill near the Kaaba and called out. He asked about an army behind the hill. The crowd replied, "We have never known you to tell a lie." He warned of a severe punishment. He invited them to worship one God and abandon idols. Immediate hostile reaction. Abu Lahab scorned him. Leaders mocked him as mad or a poet. Quraysh leaders saw the message as a threat to wealth and power. They began persecuting Muhammad and his followers. New Muslims were mocked and humiliated. Bilal and other slaves suffered brutal torture. Still, the community held firm. Faith gave them strength and resilience. The persecution in Mecca grew more intense. The leaders of the Quraysh tried to pressure Muhammad's uncle Abu Talib to withdraw his protection. But Abu Talib, though he never converted to Islam himself, stood by his nephew unwaveringly. Seeing the suffering of his followers, Muhammad advised a group of them to seek refuge in Abyssinia, which is modern-day Ethiopia, a kingdom ruled by a just Christian king. This was the first migration in Islam, a desperate search for a place where they could practice their faith without fear. The Quraysh then imposed a harsh social and economic boycott on Muhammad's clan, the Banu Hashim, and all his followers. For 3 long years they were isolated in a narrow valley in Mecca. They faced starvation and immense hardship. Despite the severe conditions, the small community supported each other, sharing what little they had. Shortly after the boycott finally ended, Muhammad faced 2 devastating personal losses in the same year. First, his beloved wife and greatest supporter, Khadija, passed away. Just a few weeks later, his uncle and protector, Abu Talib, also died. With his passing, Muhammad lost the tribal protection that had shielded him from the worst of the Quraysh's violence. This period became known as the Year of Sorrow. Muhammad was left feeling vulnerable, isolated, and deeply grieved. It was during this time of profound grief and despair that Muhammad experienced a miraculous event known as the Isra and Miraj, the night journey and ascension. According to Islamic tradition, he was taken on a single night from the Kaaba in Mecca to the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. From there, he ascended through the heavens, where he met the prophets who came before him and was brought into the presence of God. This spiritual journey provided him with immense comfort and renewed his resolve. With the loss of his protector Abu Talib, the persecution in Mecca escalated to a dangerous new level. The leaders of Quraysh, no longer restrained, conspired to assassinate Muhammad. They planned for a man from each clan to strike him simultaneously so the blame would be shared. Warned of the plot, Muhammad knew he could no longer stay in Mecca. His life and the future of his message depended on finding a new home. Help came from an unexpected direction, a city to the north called Yathrib. Upon his safe arrival, the city of Yathrib was renamed Madinat al-Nabi, the city of the Prophet, or simply Medina. The people welcomed him with joy and relief, singing songs of celebration. Muhammad's first act was not to build a fortress or a palace, but to build a mosque. It was a simple structure, made of palm trunks and mud bricks. It became the heart of the new community. It was a place for prayer, a school, a community center, a place for dispensing justice, and a shelter for the poor. It was the center of their spiritual and social lives. One of Muhammad's greatest challenges was to unite the diverse groups in Medina: Meccan immigrants, Muhajirun, local converts from Medina, Ansar the helpers, and the city's significant Jewish tribes. To create a harmonious society, he drafted a groundbreaking document known as the Constitution of Medina. This was a formal agreement that established a pluralistic community, declaring all the groups, including the Muslims and Jews, to be one nation or ummah. It guaranteed religious freedom. After several years of conflict and diplomacy, the balance of power shifted. In the year 630, Muhammad marched towards Mecca with a large force of Muslims. But he did not come for revenge. As the Meccans prepared for a bloody battle, Muhammad offered them a peaceful conquest. He entered the city without a fight, declaring amnesty for all who had once persecuted him and his followers. He went to the Kaaba, destroyed the 365 idols, rededicating the ancient house of worship to the one true God. His act of forgiveness and magnanimity won the hearts of the Meccans, and soon, all of Arabia embraced his message. 2 years later, Muhammad made his final pilgrimage to Mecca. Standing on Mount Arafat, he delivered his farewell sermon to tens of thousands. This sermon was a beautiful summary of his life's teachings: the sacredness of life and property, the equality of all people regardless of race or status, the rights of women, the importance of justice and kindness. All mankind is from Adam and Eve. An Arab has no superiority over a non-Arab, nor a non-Arab has any superiority over an Arab.